Namaste, angels. This is the weekly love reading from Sunday, October 8th through Saturday, October 14th. Today is Saturday, October 7th. It is the feast day of Our Lady of the Rosary. So maybe some love will be in the air just because the Blessed Mother is around nursing us. To any of you whose mothers were indeed ill last week that are now better, glad to hear it, because I realized I don't look for the readings to be accurate or for things to happen, because I know that the readings are accurate. So I'm not like watching for stuff to happen. So I guess I kind of take it for granted. The fact that I know it's accurate. My own mother both entered and exited alive and well by the grace of God, the hospital this week. And I was like, oh yeah, I said people's mothers would be ill, but they'd get better, and there's mine. But a lot of stuff. I mean, things are just happening just as we've seen them, which is really, really positive and exciting with regard to the love reading, because the masculine really just grabbing hold of his life, getting his whole life this week. It has seemed, based on last week's readings, and particularly the moon reading, which covers a period of about 2 weeks. We've seen a lot of that. So with that, I'm going to go to Weekend Away, which also applies in my life. Weekend Away has happened. Buy shoes, or it's happening right now. I'm not the one that's physically away, but like my daughters are away at a anime convention. They haven't been here. And so it's a vacation for me too. Also, it's 50-50. Okay. Ooh, Spirit says sex. Let's get the other dice. Also, eat cake. And depending upon what you're into, I won't spell it out for you, just in case you're not into it. But for those of you who are, eat cake and sex together. And email. Where's the sexy Valentine's dice? Here they are. Ooh. Spirit says car. And it sort of landed right here in the middle of eat cake and sex. Also suck. Neck. And foreplay. So maybe somebody will have a weekend away and a bit of extra fun. All right, so I'm going to go to hashtag creepy deck first. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, oh, it's going to be random. I'm going to be random. You be forewarned. I've been weird. I've been random. I recorded the general reading last night. The whole recording was random. The fact that I went to sleep not long after, because I started doing divine light cleanses, and then I planned to type up a bunch of feedback for previous cleanses, clients that I have, and I fell asleep, and I slept 7 hours, which those of you who know me at all know that is insane. The fact that I was even asleep, period, is kind of insane. But 7 hours, because most people, like, for example, on my Facebook and stuff, you contact me any time of the day and I respond because I'm always awake. So that's the energy I'm dealing with today. And we're beginning with dating, which makes a lot of sense. It's here under the full moon. Again, today is the 7th. We just had the full moon occur 2 days ago, so that energy is still very strong. And also, this is the card that was crowning the masculine in, I believe, that moon reading, or perhaps our love reading of the week. So dating. And opening to the Ice Queen, which also makes a lot of sense because Venus very prominent this week. Also on the 5th, the same day as the moon, was the day that she and planet Mars had been closer to one another than they had been since 1995. It was the first time they had gotten that close again. So that occurred under that same moon, and Venus still very prominent this week. So perhaps affecting this week's love reading, Venus enters Libra, which is one of the planets that she rules. Oh, and while I'm on that, really quickly, a few of you, probably like 3 or 4 people commented last week, Venus rules Libra and Taurus. Yes, I totally agree with you. She absolutely does, 100%. However, she is indeed the esoteric ruler of Gemini, and feel free to look that up. So that is another reason to see Venus, having to do with Gemini, having to do with Libra, having to do with Taurus. Dating and opening to control, manipulation. So this is one of the things that it popped up in, I think, the moon reading, but by the end, these strings were cut. So those of you who haven't seen that, you may want to check it out. The masculine really grabbing his balls this week. And, you know, and the bull by the horns, as they say. Maybe Taurus the bull, maybe having to do with Venus. So yeah, control back and opening to destiny, which is also a repeat card. I think destiny represented the divine couple in the reading, in the spread. Destiny back, I'll go one more. New love, because we're letting go of old, right? So that we're letting go of all things old, not just old love. And sometimes old love with our new and current partner, it's the same person, but that what we had together before is dead. We're transitioning from that into a better place. And, you know, both of us individually, but then as a unit too, as a couple, moving toward our destiny, our shared destiny and our individual destiny. Destiny. And I don't know if you can hear, but I'm hearing all kinds of like horns. It's Raphael. It's maybe because I was talking about healing and moving toward destiny. And it just stopped. Oh, goodness. Control in reverse. And the overall energy is wallflower, which I think is Scorpio, but also Capricorn. Okay, so this card always reads that way to me anyway, or it tends to. I won't say always. It tends to read that way to me anyway, that when I see it, it's about a Scorpio or it's about a Capricorn. Somebody who will be at the party, but they still don't want to be bothered. Sometimes Gemini too. Don't really like being the center of attention, don't really like a lot of fanfare, but very easily can be the center of attention and get a lot of fanfare. Okay, so that's happening. But I've also been feeling so much about Saturn and Capricorn. I can't really explain it when I get these feelings. But the Pluto retrograde, which ended on September, Pluto, which went direct, rather, on the 28th of September. Pluto's retrograde has been and remains in Capricorn. So there's the connection right there between Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto, and Capricorn. Those two signs, zodiac signs, coming through very strongly with this card and with this sort of energy of being the wallflower. So they're at the party, but they're not necessarily a part of it. They don't want to be bothered by you. Also having to do with Scorpio this week, which is really, really huge, and I should have mentioned it at the beginning. I apologize. Jupiter in Scorpio this week on 10/10 is when that occurs. So we might see a lot of this. We saw a lot of Scorpio and also a lot of Earth too in the general reading. This will represent the divine couple. See, I'm doing this really as I go along. I wasn't sure what kind of spread I was going to do just now. I decided I'm doing the cross spread from the perspective of the universe. This will represent the recent past, the near future, the masculine entire self, blocks to the union, what the feminine can do, what the masculine can do, further advice from the universe, and the outcome. Divine couple. Children. Now, I gotta tell you something else that's weird. The other day I did a reading, a client reading, and I was feeling Elton John, and that song, I guess that's why they call it the blues. It's connected to children, I promise. But the way it came in, I could see Elton sitting in a chair, and I could hear the song, and my mouth kept wanting to say Olivia Newton-John. And obviously that wouldn't have been right. Finally, I got out, Elton John, Elton John. It's that song. I guess that's why they call it the blues. Time on my hands could be time spent with you. Laughing like children. Living like lovers. Rolling like thunder under the covers. I guess that's why they call it the blues. So this is representing the divine couple in that they are the children, or they should be. They should be laughing like children and living like lovers. They could be if they weren't spending time on their hands. So that's what's being changed this week. Blocks to the union. I'm sorry, the recent past. Money. Money. Giving value to the union is what this is representing. Also Venus, the fact that she came through with the abundance. Recent past. Near future. Blonde female. This is the feminine of the light for me. You guys know it's the red hair. Now, that's not to say that anybody out there that has dark hair, you know, that you're not of the light. That's not what I mean. Just in reading the cards and traditionally having to do with spirituality. And I've talked about that in some of my videos that are of that nature, not a love reading. The red hair is highly regarded as it relates to spirituality. And in fact, people used to be killed for having red hair because of that fact. And so it's since been twisted and turned into a thing where red-haired people are devils instead. And that's just, you know, that was just the dark trying to manipulate us and put us to sleep and all that kind of stuff. So that's why when I look at the blonde female, I see this represented as the divine feminine, the feminine of the light, capital L. But that's not a slight against people who who are of the light and in this 3D, on this 3D plane that have darker hair. The masculine's higher self. Family. Boom. Look how it's crossing the children. This is what he wants. This is what he wants. Seen this a lot in my own personal readings too. Family representing us over and over again. Or the outcome, family. Blocks to the union. I won't say inability because that's not the right word. We are 100% able. The procrastination. And false, like, limitations, self-imposed blocks. This is what happened to me when I was trying to get Elton John out, because I can see something in my mind's eye, as they say. That's what I'm trying to speak out of my mouth. You know, like the 8 of Swords, that sort of belief, false belief that we're trapped and that we can't have what we want. You know, that it's far from us. That's what's been the block. But now, as I said, the masculine in particular really going after his freedom and his goals, his destiny, his desires, sort of regardless of old belief systems and ideologies and social norms and what other people might think, including like his closest friends and family. He's finally living for him. Now, I have been also feeling that there's some of us out there with regard to the divine feminine that as it relates to this, that we've been kind of like well, I don't want a man or woman that is embarrassed of me, so to speak, or something like that. You know, that they have allowed in the past these other things to get in the way of their feelings for me. Like how real can that be if they were allowed, if they were able to prioritize something else that should be insignificant and irrelevant, right? And to that, I have to say that part is our ego. And you know what? That comes up in the general reading too. I know a lot of people like to watch love, and they don't necessarily care much if they see the general reading or not. And you know, that's fine. You know, to each their own. However, the general reading, I got this, Raphael. The general reading sort of lays out, you know, like what can be expected. It's like the introduction, you know, and sort of gives you the idea of it's like the narrative, right? It like sets the narrative. And in that general reading this week, there was the card that was crowning the feminine was the Four of Cups. And I said that this is going to be about being unimpressed by the union, and even applying to those of us who have yet to meet. So to understand what I mean about that, you're going to have to definitely check it out. But being unimpressed, and I was right. You know, I went to clarify the card also. And sure enough, the devil or ego in my angel tarot ended up being the card with which it was clarified. So it's this thing with the feminine of, I'm not saying I don't get it, especially in the 3D sense, you know, but that's what we have to work on this week. If you feel yourself having those kind of thoughts, it's to check yourself, because that's the ego, and you know, even some fear too. So that's how the freedom relates to us. All right. So what can the feminine can do after all of that? Just be love and allow love, receive love, give love. True, unadulterated, unconditional love. What about the masculine? Soulmate. And allowing for this sort of cosmic connection in between, this electricity, this frequency being matched up, aligning, allowed that to happen. Release, free yourself of the family who would have you not be yourself and have you not, you know, reach your life's goals and life's purpose. Further advice from the universe. Fun times. Let's just turn up. Hashtag turn up. Yeah, let go of it. This is a week to be free and in love. And we've got like the makings for it, everything we need to do that. Outcome, travel. So this is now taking off. Things that were stagnant, taking off. They have movement. We're moving forward, and we're going to go the distance from here on out. How nice. Not that it wasn't to be expected, again, because we've seen that this is how things are going to turn out based on the moon reading and the love reading from last week. You know what? I was going to go to these now, but I'm not. I'm going to go to my new deck, and you would have seen these in the general too, because I'm just trying to get them, you know, broken in, as they say. I'm beginning with the Two of Summer, which is the Two of Cups, obviously, or the Two of Water. Lovebird. You're falling in love or experiencing a deepening of emotion in your current relationship. Marriages or romantic partnerships in distress even can still be saved as well. Don't give up. So don't give up was our overlying theme and, you know, mantra for the week and actually the 2 weeks in connection to the moon. The moon, if you saw that reading, I said that the moon for me is 9 of fire. That's the overlying theme. Keep pushing, persevere. You can do this. So this is what this 2 of water says as well. Opening now to the Queen of Autumn. You will be given advice that's both practical and creative, and it should be followed precisely. Focus only upon the positive in every situation or person. So that's Venus, obviously, Queen of Earth. 2 of water coming back. The Princess of Autumn. A wonderful opportunity related to your work or education, such as promotion or scholarship, is coming your way. Well, we're relating it to love. And when you see like the Page of Pentacles as it relates to love, just like I just said about going the distance, that's what it indicates. A relationship that has a real chance of surviving, you know, like the long haul. Seize this chance to learn something exciting and start a more rewarding and uplifting, it says career, but life in general. Relationship, experience. We're relating all of this to love. 2 of summer back, and the 6 of summer, which is the 6 of cups, all about soulmate relationships as it relates to love. The love and care of children, which in this case would be us, we were just represented by the children, the divine couple, could become an important part of your life. Yes, it absolutely will be. Or people from your childhood may return. So this is past loves and things like that may return. Old memories can be healed, or possibly old childhood dreams are ready to be, you know, lived, revived and lived. And certainly this is about love. This is the 6 of cups and the 2 of cups side by side. So that's about soulmate relationships, quote unquote, karmic relationships, karmic as in destined, not as in, you know, ew, funky karmic, karmic as in destined relationships. Two of summer, I'm gonna cut. So this time I'll do spread from the perspective of the masculine, beginning with the 3 of autumn as our introductory energy, so to speak. Your most satisfying and profitable career, so this is going to be relationship, comes from following your passions. I love this because I was just talking about this, the masculine doing this in particular this week. Feminine, we can do this too, following our passions. In fact, we should, because just that's going to help us get rid of that ego thing that I was talking about. Where you're feeling too consumed by these thoughts of, you know, why didn't he do this sooner? Jump that, and instead, what is your passion? Is he or she your passion? Is he or she, regardless of everything else, what you want in your life as a partner? If that's the case, then nothing else matters. That should help you shake off the other part. Yeah, listening to your heart and doing what brings you joy. Your life purpose or your relationship is best fulfilled by allowing your talent and true self to shine forth into the world. Overall energy is the 10 of winter. So the 10 of swords, the 10 of air, which indicates there's going to be an end to difficult situations, which again fits right in with what we've been talking about. Siberian husky dog. It's the end of it says career path. I'm going to say a difficult path, project or relationship. And it brings feelings, you know, mixed feelings, joy and sadness, also relief, disappointment maybe that something didn't work out. Put aside your fears about these changes and trust that a brighter future awaits. This will be the feminine about herself, or the feminine's higher self, a message to her. The masculine about the feminine, about himself, and the union this week. Overall, the outcome. What the masculine would have the feminine to do, surrender, contribute toward the union this week. What he himself is willing to do. Committed to doing. Resolved to doing. What the universe would have the two do. Feminine, the Chariot. So we're in the driver's seat of our own lives too. You can successfully balance various or opposing energies at once through determination and focus. You've earned the rewards and recognition you're receiving. So like that song by The Weeknd, which I heard yesterday. And actually, I forgot to tell you guys, that other one, I guess is why they call it the blues, I heard that this week too, after I had done that reading. So that's definitely a message that was coming through. Yeah, I just heard Earned It yesterday. And that's what this is speaking to. Also, notice the butterfly. This is about transformation. And maybe specifically attributing this to a time of the Jupiter and Scorpio. Like this is what's enabling all this to happen this week. Also, I see a star here, and Uranus could be contributing as well. Other than that, the Chariot represents water signs, particularly Cancer. So there could be Cancer, very impactful in the life of the feminine this week, and or, you know, she could be, of course, a Cancer herself, or taking on some of those like attributes and behaviors this week as it relates to herself and getting moving. So that means also when you talk about taking on the energy of Cancer, that means paying attention to your intuition too, and applying that in these changes that you make for yourself and this driver's seat, the position that you're now in. Where do I go? Draw on that intuition to decide what the answer to that is. The masculine about the feminine, King of Spring. Now's your moment to step up to a leadership role. Don't hold back from the spotlight, as your plans will be successful as long as you stay focused upon the big picture. This isn't how he's seeing her. This is him. This is how he's seeing him in relation to her. And notice the moon here in this picture too. Also, the moon rules Cancer. The real moon in the sky, not the tarot, rules the zodiac sign of Cancer. But this is the Aries full moon coming through. This is that Mars energy coming through. And this is the divine masculine coming through. Because also in the other readings, this is what he was doing. He was taking the leadership role, showing up even as Jesus in 2 readings. So this is him in relation to the feminine. Acknowledging his position. And, you know, being finally being prepared to and committed to playing it. Him about himself. 2 of Autumn. So maybe it hasn't been the easiest thing, but he's committed to doing it. He's got a lot on his plate is what this card would mean. And he also feels like he's in the same space again. That deja vu from hell I speak about sometimes. But the card says, you may be under stress because of multiple jobs, too many responsibilities for one person to manage. It's important to balance your work and personal life and to bring a spirit of fun to all you do. So he's trying to, you know, figure all that out because he's committed again to doing it. The union overall, from the perspective of the masculine, the Magician, they can manifest it all. They can do it all. They can have it all is what the Magician means. The Magician has every single element at his hands, you know, available to him to use. Fire, water, air, earth, whatever he needs, he can do it. There's also a butterfly here indicating more transition, and a unicorn, the magic that a unicorn represents. There's magic in the air. You can manifest everything you need in order to be successful. Magician for me represents the sign of Gemini. So can be water signs here involved here, since these are major arcana cards, and this is a court card. Water signs, fire signs, particularly Aries. Also, this card representing particularly Scorpio, also ruled by Mars. And the Jupiter in Scorpio, Jupiter, not a red planet, but rules the red zodiac sign of Sagittarius. That coming through. Overall, the wheel, this is Jupiter. The wheel represents Jupiter for me. Yeah, anybody that's watched me before and talk about Jupiter knows that. Because Jupiter is the planet of, they say luck. Some people say luck. I say karma. Also, it's the planet of expansion. Everything bigger, everything better. Like your wildest dreams come true. If you've been on the right side of karma. Expect a sudden positive change in your life. You can move forward and make great progress now. So this is as it relates to love. We can all expect a sudden positive change in our lives as it relates to love in connection with Jupiter. Also, this card, or Jupiter, like I said, it rules Sagittarius, but it's also connected to the fixed signs for me. And the fixed signs would be Leo, so right here, which is crossing this big lion here on the King of Spring. Leo, Scorpio, so there's your Jupiter and Scorpio again. Aquarius, I said I saw Aquarius in this card. There's the star. And Taurus. So there's Venus coming back into play too here. What would the masculine have the feminine do? Boom. Okay, this is what I've been talking about. This is the feminine not being appreciative of like the universe's blessings upon her, not counting her blessings. This is that ego that I said showed up in the general in this position for the crowning the feminine. This is that I'm unimpressed with your offer of love sort of attitude. Yeah, this is stuck in ego. I don't know how else to put it. So what the masculine would have the feminine do is to drop this. It's a wall. This is creating a wall. And for some of you, those of you who are in separation, I would say particularly, where you have this, like this is why the separation exists. It's not that the masculine doesn't want to come back. The energy is funky. And so it prohibits reunion. What promotes reunion is positivity, right? Positive thoughts. That's how we manifest our own thoughts, right? We create our own destiny, to use that word again. And so the idea of what the masculine would have the feminine do, because remember this spread is from the perspective of the masculine as opposed to the other one, which was like from the perspective of the universe, this energy that I was getting from the universe. What he would have us do is to drop that. That's going to allow him to return. He's like already like sorry enough and feeling guilty enough. And so this is very unwelcoming, basically. Focus upon the fact that God loves you. Yes, exactly. I should have just read the card and not given you a speech. And always has the highest of intentions for you. A positive outlook makes it easier to recover from life's little difficulties so that you can move onward and upward, right? Upward toward ascension, continuing to ascend. And the union continuing to ascend when we, can let go of the negativity and like sort of like get over ourselves and the, oh, woe is me mentality. Nice dragonfly there too. The masculine, what's he willing to do? Wow. Boss up. The emperor is the boss, right? I sometimes call my divine masculine my boss. He's my boss, my king, like everything that makes him this role, and maybe that's why I was meant to say that to you guys, why that flew out of my mouth. That's his role. Boss, king, very regal, very powerful, very strong, very protective. And that's what he's willing to be. Even a mouse is what this is saying. The mouse holding a little bouquet of flowers. Even if your divine masculine is, shy, otherwise shy, reserved, Look at the shadow, right? How huge is the mouse's shadow? This is like his inner self. This is what I'm being shown about the masculine. Like he's huge. He's huge. He's phenomenal, right? He's limitless. He knows no bounds from the inside, regardless of what it looks like on the outside. Well, I got these cards the other day. Every time I, to cleanse them and begin to connect with them, I did spreads on myself. And every card, every placement that was like to represent my divine masculine was the Prince of Summer. Hopefully you guys are good to see him. So I won't even go into that, what he looks like. But I was reminded of it by this like sort of like diminutive creature, right? He's small, but he's larger than life here. That shadow of him. And he's making an offer. He's making an offer of love, this little mouse. He has a bouquet of flowers in his hand that he would like to hand off to somebody. And there's also a butterfly here indicating its transformation. So I may look small today, or right at this moment, but I'm changing. I'm transforming. I'm becoming larger than life. Structure and organization are important right now. Don't be afraid to take on a leadership role. And again, I talked about leadership all throughout the moon reading. That was another overlying theme, particularly for the divine masculine, stepping into his role. Don't be afraid to take on your leadership role. You are the boss. And I don't mean that in a anti-feminist kind of way or female kind of way either. I just mean it's like his rightful place, basically. Like his throne awaits him. His seat at the head of the table awaits him. And what he's willing to do this week is to get in it. All right? Take on the leadership role as you have much wisdom to offer. I love that for you guys. What would the universe have the two to do? So this was what the feminine would do from the perspective of the masculine. This is what he wants her to do. This is what he himself has committed to doing. This is the universe saying okay, that's wonderful. That's all well and good. But what I would have the two of you to do is this: compassion. This is going to be about exercising compassion, being warm and gentle and loving with one another. The Queen of Autumn is thoughtful, caring, creative, and ingenious. Right, this is Venus again, in her role as a Taurian. You will be given advice that's both practical and creative, and it should be followed precisely. Focus only upon positive energy. I hope the feminine is listening to this part. In every situation or person. So for the purposes of our love reading, in other words, in one another. Only focus upon the positive energy in one another. Outcome. Boom! The Four of Spring. This is the Four of Wands. This is wedding. This is commitment. This is peace, contentment in our situation and circumstance, whatever that may be. It's time to kick back, relax, and celebrate all that you have. Joy arises from success, it says, in your career, but in your relationships here, right? In your love life is what we're talking about. Also, there's a completion of a project. Many of us have, that's why we're transitioning. Something is ending. We're going into something new. We're celebrating the fact that that thing ended and that there's a new beginning for us. And we're very happy, emotionally fulfilled right now. Happy home life. How freaking awesome. I don't want to spend too much time looking at it, although I love it because I want to lay another spread. Now I'll use these. Beginning with free yourself. So for those of us who are still trapped, be it self-imposed or feeling like as if we're under thumb of someone else, it's time to take back control of your life in either way. Get rid of the unrequited loves. If you've got somebody that, is making you feel trapped, manipulated and all of that, and you're just, you feel stuck with them, you're not really, again, free yourself from that. If this is imbalance within you, right? It's not really unrequited love. It's an imbalance from within. You need to free yourself from that. Free yourself from your mind, from, like just negative thoughts, negative patterns, negative belief systems, negative emotions. Free yourself from that. In either case, it's time to take back control of your life. Free yourself. It's safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. Some of us need to free ourselves from thoughts that the other person doesn't want us. And maybe those thoughts have a basis, a real basis in like how we've acted toward one another. So again, I'm not impressed by your offer, or I'm not interested. And that's been on both sides. So freeing yourself of that sort of mentality that's been a wall that was put up to protect you. So that's why I won't get hurt, because I won't dive in. But that, in that sense, you are hurting yourself. So you just got to come to the realization that it's safe for you to love, so that you can open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. For yourself and separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon, but this isn't your partner. This is, again, for those people who are feeling under thumb of some sort of person, place, or thing that is holding them back from their true love that we saw in the other spread. That's from whom we need to separate, and from whom we need to free ourselves. This is why it's here opposite to free yourself. I'm going to cut. Let go of control issues. So, yeah, very simply put, let go of control issues. But I would add, again, the fear, the negative emotions, negative cords of attachment, negative thoughts, all of that stuff, let it go too. Allow this situation instead to unfold naturally. The overall energy is healing family issues, and that healing family issues is going to go for the family that is the union, and the family that is, perhaps your individual family and or close friends. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents, but it's not just your parents. It's any and everybody that's so impactful upon your life that you can't move forward as long as something is in, disarray with them. You got to fix that. So you either have to repair the relationship or walk away from it. Let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. So my friends in this regard tend to be the angels. That's upon whom I call for help with this situation. But if you have friends that you feel comfortable discussing your love life with, by all means, let them help you. And for some of you, this is with regard to a real wedding. And as I say that, I pick up the wedding card, but you see here, this woman's friends, well, first of all, this woman is very clearly a bride. And so her friends that are helping her are her bridesmaids, and that's with what they're helping her, the wedding. So for some of you, it's going to be very literal, and congratulations. And for others, it's like, help me to get to this point of where, in a more 3D sense, I'm able to, tangibly see, smell, touch my sacred marriage. Because this situation does indeed involve marriage. And trust. And all three of the masculines cards involve a couple in wedding attire. This situation is calling for you to have faith. So basically be optimistic about everything. Confident, positive. Just like that card and it said somebody was going to give you advice, good advice to be positive. Make sure you follow it precisely. Maybe that somebody is me. And yes, very precisely follow this. Or me with the help of the angels, I should say. Crown of the feminine, attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So this is a card of the law of attraction, and what we put out being what we get back. So again, be positive. That's what you're going to get. Surrounded by. Give your relationship a chance. So don't, oh, woe is me. Don't, this isn't good enough. Don't, you're not good enough, especially if you would be saddened by the outcome if that caused him or her to, retreat from you. Don't do that. Like, think first about what you really want and then work on your partnership. And in the feminine subconscious, allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Yeah, just allow yourself to be happy. Make a decision to be happy and then be that. And be that true love that showed up for the feminine in that other spread. Crowning the union. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. So this is about putting yourself first and foremost. It's attributed to both, although in all of the readings that I've been doing recently, we've seen this very heavily on the part of the masculine, that there is someone, some place, something, a combination of those that has been prohibiting him from going after what he really wants, and what he really wants is the feminine. So he needs to put himself first if he has not yet. But all in this spread also shows that he will, all thus far. At the root, the foundation, make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. So this again is for both. And at the heart of the matter is this unrequited love. At the heart of the situation, isn't this the truth? Better yet, ain't this the truth? At the heart of the situation is this, again, this energy, this person, place, or thing that has been prohibiting all of the love from happening. And I think that things turned out in a very similar way, different cards, but a very similar way in one of the other readings this week. Like all the love was surrounding, was in the perimeter, and in the middle was this funky energy. This is with what we need to dispense. Just get rid of that, and then we can have all the rest. And behave in the way, follow the instructions that the angels have given us, the romance angels have given us, and everything will fall into place. I do want to go ahead and clarify this unrequited love anyway, though, because the next card is upright. So I want to take advantage of that. And boom. Soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. What's the next one's upright too? Let's look at it. So spend time getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. Release the old, and then your relationship will come into place. And isn't soulmate the exact same word that was used in the other spread? The one from the perspective of the universe before. Soulmate for the masculine in particular, but here at the heart of the matter for both of us. So whatever this is, it's holding you back, as I said, holding you back from your soulmate, your divine partner. And by releasing it, you can have that. And you guys can, better get to know each other and move forward toward that long haul. The next card now is in reverse. So I'll stop there and do some advice. I'm not shuffling again. I'm just taking off the top the way I sat the cards down, pulling one off the top of each deck and putting the advice there. I didn't use these, so I'll shuffle them a bit. This is the Tony Carmine Salerno Universal Love Oracle, beginning with Earth Connection, which is about Venus and Earth for me, and the need to connect with it, the need to do some meditation, preferably outside. That opens the flow to abundance in all forms, including, of course, love. And opening to creativity, which is a card that for me represents the sign of Aquarius, as well as water signs, particularly Pisces. with these translucent fish here jumping out of the water, and this angelic being holding on to a vessel of water, like the water bearer, with the moon in the back, so maybe particularly Cancer as well. The moon behind her and this star on her forehead, like she's an Aquarian. I just saw the sacred marriage card. I think they wanted me to. Oh, and love just jumped out. There's love. As I saw the moon tree card. But maybe first there'll be necessary some forgiveness. Kuan Yin, forgiveness. Okay, they want us to see the celebration. But also I was opening to dreams. So maybe some of us having some lucid dreams this week. Dreams with our partner, 5D connections. And finding that balance yet again. And the coming together of air and water as well. On that note, I will cut. Emergence. So where we were in the dark before, we were lost. We just felt trapped. We yearned for our freedom. We're emerging from that now. So like all that darkness and stuff you can't see it in the card because it's all down there. And right now what we're rising toward is, all this beautiful yellow and this white light of like the Christ light here for healing. And the overall energy is divine guidance and more moon. This guidance is infinite, but there's more moon here, which is another indication of just how very powerful this period is right now. Under the Aries full moon and in conjunction with Jupiter and Scorpio, which will last through to November of 2018. So we got plenty of time to, again, this guidance and help is infinite. And lastly, I'm going to take some advice from, it's another love oracle that I have. I want to give you the correct name in case anybody's interested. I'm beginning with Angel of Jupiter Awaken, which is really awesome. I shuffled to this, again with the Jupiter in Scorpio occurring on the 10th of this week. These cards are from The Journey of Love by Alana Fairchild, Rasuli, and Richard Cohn. And they were a gift to me from one of my clients, that has had readings by me, Divine Light Cleanse for herself, and purchased one for her husband as well. She then gifted me with those cards. She's gifted me with other cards too. Those are the only ones I have out right now. Anyway, I'm beginning with Angel of Jupiter, which is card number 6. 6 equals love, so that's pretty awesome. The first card, actually when I opened the box, a card jumped out of the box. It was card number 66, and it was a red card too. And something about love. I don't remember what the name was. And then I put it back. Oh, but what I put it on top of was card number 9. And that was something about the heart, like awakening. And then I opened to card number 33. And that was something about like God awakening you. They were all very loving and spiritual cards that I saw, but ultimately landing on the Angel of Jupiter Awaken. And I've just opened to another very green card. So that may mean something. This may be about Mother Earth, all this green coming through, or the Emerald Ray, the healing, maybe Archangel Raphael, perhaps. And I've opened to card number 26, Guardian of the Soul Family. So that's very special too. The angel that watches over us as a collective, or angels that watch over us as a collective. This card is about what one would imagine, I would think, expansion, right? Just broadening your horizons and awakening to the idea that you can have it all. Angel of Jupiter awakening. And opening to within nothing, there is everything. This is kind of like that diminutive mouse, right? He was small, but larger than life. Within nothing, there is everything. And this is all the water too. So here we go again, perhaps with the Scorpio. And I think I see fish here. Maybe some Pisces joining the party. No moon, but that doesn't mean Cancer's not around, or, you know, this is just what's coming out to me. But this very important statement, within nothing, there is everything. And this is card number 2, which equals 11. Angel of Jupiter awakens still at the top. And Lovers, card number 57. Very nice. I think on this note, I will cut. Angel of Jupiter. Woman of Light, card number 49 equals 13 equals 4 equals 11, 11. And look how she's rising toward this white light of Christ here, sort of like that emergence card I just landed on in the other deck. And the overall energy is the light field. And I don't know if you can see, but there's a person here. And they are filled with the light. They're so filled with the light, they're white here. And they're just like allowing like the sun's rays and the universe's rays in general, all the beautiful auras to heal them. All right, with that, let's see what we got. So from the romance angels to the masculine, worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. So you are moving forward, even where for some of you it may appear that you're not. Things are moving forward. Feminine, free yourself. And I think for us, this is mostly about, again, our mind, our thinking. Free yourself from the negative thinking and anything else in your life that is holding you back, right? It's time to take back control of your life. From the animal tarot, Doreen Virtue, animal tarot, to the masculine. This is another indication that positive things are happening, but they may be taking their time, right? The worth waiting for. The Prince of Autumn is basically the Knight of Earth, Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Coins. So we know that he is a very diligent knight. He always reaches his goal. He never fails. He is always successful. We can count on him. We can trust him. However, he's slow as, you know, molasses. I was going to say something else. Well, I'll use molasses. Yeah, he's like slow and steady wins the race type of person. He is trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. And here he's a seahorse. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. Once you have the plan in place, then you can take immediate action and get as much accomplished as possible. So you can apply this to your lives and your love life in particular, masculine. Feminine, from the animal tarot to us, the Nine of Autumn. So in the meantime, we're single, right? We're single as in, you know, we're on our own. But that's okay because we like ourselves. We love ourselves. We're enjoying spending time with us. And that is demonstrated here by a ragdoll cat. Your success has brought you financial security and the reward of much deserved time off to enjoy your own company. You may suddenly have a brilliant idea for a business or self-employment opportunity that will be very successful. And now that I think about it, I think the feminine got this very card for advice in the general reading too. So this should be a lucrative and positive week for us, I would think. From the Tony Carmine Solano Universal Love Oracle to the masculine embrace. So another card about the need for some of them to come into balance. Again, that unrequited love for everyone isn't about, you know, a third party love affair or love triangle. For some of us, it is about imbalance and the need to get our, you know, get our lives back. And, you know, a grip on ourselves, as they say. And this card is about getting a grip on oneself, because contrary to the way it appears, it is not two people in a tight hug. It is one person's inner masculine and feminine literally getting a grip on itself. So that's what you're to do this week, masculine. Feminine, Spiritual growth. And I think it can begin just with the fact that we're letting go of some of that ego this week, and not just growing spiritually, but, you know, as a person in general. To not like necessarily stomp our feet and be obnoxious and, you know, over silly stuff like sweating the small stuff. That's just growth, period, you know, spiritual or otherwise. Hashtag creepy deck to the masculine. New love. So for some, this is brand new love, of course. You know, I mentioned that some of us, you know, have never even met our divine partner. We just, you know, sort of feel and have an inner knowing that we have one. And that's fine too. For others, this is your existing connection, right? Anew, renewed. Feminine, fair male. And what jumped out right away is, for some, this may be from whom you need to free yourself, right? You've had a manipulator in your life. Even if you're not together with him romantically, he is whose thumb you've been under. So you want to free yourself from him. And lastly, from the Journey of Love Oracle, I'll read this from the book. Oh, very, very blue, very, very Scorpio, very moon too. Seed of the Heart, card number 25. So interested in seeing what that's about. And for the feminine, drop into your heart. And how very Venus is this card? Pink and green. These are the colors of Archangel Raphael also, like pinks and reds and green. These would be the colors of Archangel Chamuel, the Archangel of Unconditional Love, which is, to my understanding, from the very beings themselves. And so therefore it is truth. Archangel Chamuel also essentially Cupid, which is Venus's son. So that's why they have the same colors here. But these pinks and reds and greens would certainly represent Venus, so the goddess of love, and her son Cupid, like Prince of Love, or Archangel Chamuel, the Archangel of Unconditional Love specifically. So we can take on the energy of any of those. Let your friends help you, could be them, and drop into your heart. All right, let me get the book. Masculine, card number 25, Seed of the Heart. Within each one of us is a divine seed of love, waiting to blossom into fullness. We don't always know what type of blossom we shall be, however, and sometimes if we try to figure it out in advance, the blossoming itself can cause us anxiety, pain, or fear, because it's taking us in an unknown and unexpected direction. We may even fear that the direction we're heading is away from our life path and purpose, and that if that were even possible. The seed in the heart arises as guidance when we're unfolding in a new manifestation of the divine light within. It comes as an encouragement to trust and to surrender, to allow and to be as open, unthinking, and ready for the unexpected as possible. A plant just needs the right conditions to grow healthy. And if you have ever seen a blade of grass pushing up through a crack in the pavement, then you'll know that when something is meant to grow to the light, it will, even against the most apparently insurmountable odds. This oracle brings you guidance. The right conditions are being brought to you, the most perfect support for your own divine blossoming. Trust. Know that the seed in your heart knows how to grow, and that life supports it. It's also a sign that something in your relationships is sprouting. A new energy. Don't be afraid to try new ways of relating now, as your life energy supports it. And feminine for us. Drop into your heart. There's a place of light within that no darkness can touch. It cannot be shamed. It can never be made impure. It's never lost or darkened or unavailable to us, though we may forget sometimes, sitting in a darkened room and not realizing that we can stand up and walk into the light so close to us, just on the other side of the doorway to the heart. Whatever may arise, great joy, great sorrow, drop into your heart and offer it to the divine, gently bowing your forehead to your hands in prayer. Connect mind and heart. Let yourself have some peace. It wants you. You know. This oracle brings you an offering. The divine would like to offer whatever is bringing your heart trouble, or of course, joy. The divine would like to receive this from you as a gift, that it may return to you some special blessing. Place your hands at your heart, and in genuine reflection, perhaps you may choose to offer your heart burden or light now. Either will joyfully be received by the divine, and you shall be graced with a gift in return. I hope that you guys enjoy this weekly love reading and that you find it helpful. Namaste, angels.